Well, that must mean that Norm Duke is more comfortable with the left lane. And I watched him in practice, and he was trying everything. Didn't really look like he had found anything that was to his liking. As we can see, Tim Criss, a lot of strikes in that right-hand lane. What happens during commercial? You know, you just have to wonder. He's absolutely lined in, knows exactly where he wants to throw the ball. Take a minute or two break, through the nose. It's usually lack of speed. And I remember that many times it would happen to me also. I would be lined in, and then as he makes that spare, when you come back after commercial, you almost have to tell yourself, okay, remember what you were doing before. Let's do it the same way.
Of course, the adrenaline's not pumping quite the same, and that makes a difference.
Yeah, it most certainly does. You see Norm Duke, 5'5" from Claremont, Florida. Great player with a lot of talent.
Knocks over the 10-pin in that opening frame.
As you can see, Norm Duke now 13th on the list of PBA millionaires, trying to move up a couple of notches. I'm sure he'll do that.
We're 3 of the top 5 on the telecast this afternoon.
Yeah, we're very fortunate to have great players on today.
And what, of course, is not shown on that graphic there is the guy in 4th place is the guy sitting next to me, Marshall Holton.
Yeah, for 4th place and holding steady. Big shot for Norm. To boost his confidence, an early double.
Oh, the solid 10. Great shot. Not a great result.
Well, he's found the pocket, but will that ball carry? We'll take a look at this ball going into the pocket. Now watch the 6-pin, the second from the right, as it just whirls around the 10-pin. Norm will throw the ball very, very straight for this spare conversion. And no problem.
A little problem with the approach or something, but he didn't foul, so has the spare. Tim Criss on the right lane, 2nd frame. It's an even match right now.
His bowling goal, Mike, is just to make a living bowling, and seems to be doing that.
Leaves the soft 10-pin.
Yeah, I might use some other verbiage to describe my feelings on a 10-pin, but Tim Criss says yuck.
Well, I don't think he liked the way the ball hit. I think he was describing the way it hit.
Yeah.
Cross lane at the 10-pin, straight at it, and has it. Robin Roberts brings sports and entertainment together tonight at 8 p.m. Eastern Time, when her guests include ESPY's host Jeff Foxworthy, and from HBO Charlotte Arliss, Robert Wool. Catch In the Spotlight with Robin Roberts right here on ESPN.
Tim Criss now trailing by only 1 pin going into the 3rd frame. That ball's got to stop hooking. He's lost the left lane.
3-9. He was light the first game, and now suddenly he's going high.
Early.
This is in his delivery. You can't really tell with that shot, but he did not get the ball projected out. Remember, in his interview, he said projection is the key to his game.
And projection means what?
Just to project the ball out onto the lane, to get it down the lane, to make sure the ball doesn't hook too soon.
Kind of the positive side of don't set it short.
Exactly right. And he makes a nice spare with a 3-9. Not an easy spare to make. Norm Duke's been in the pocket on both of his shots with a 3-pin lead.
A little tight, leaves the 4-pin. So we've got a struggle here going on in our semifinal match as the players are suddenly not striking as easily as they did in the previous 2 matches.
The lanes are transitioning, are having a little bit of a transition, and the bowlers may be tightening up a little bit as we get closer to our championship game.
At the 4-pin, backs it in there.
And you may have heard when Norm threw that first shot and left the 4-pin, there were some people kind of applauding. They're not trying to give him a bad time. They thought that he struck. So we see Norm Duke. Now, he takes a lot of steps. 1, 2, I think probably 6 or 7 steps. He changes from time to time. The shoulder high backswing. He's got a beautiful game.
gets so close to that foul line, it's amazing. Back in the pocket and leaves another 10-pin. The carry just not there. Norm's shaking his head, never a good sign.
He had the same problem in practice. That was the ball that he was able to get to the pocket the most consistently with, but he couldn't knock over the pin. So he's got a real problem to try and solve. Do I stay with this ball and just, you know, take the chances of it not carrying? As you see, he's had 34 career 300 games. Won't be having one this game. Or does he make the ball change to go for one that might hit harder, but might be harder to control?
What would you do?
Well, I would stay with the same ball and try and make it strike. That might not be the right thing, but that's how I always bowled.
That's your conservative nature.
I suppose it is. Conservative on the lanes.
And Criss, solid 10-pin. Weak 10-pin, now solid 10-pin.
He didn't say yuck on that shot. He liked that, and Sherry liked that shot. She's just wondering, well, gosh, hon, how come the 10-pin didn't fall?
She looks a lot more worried than he does.
Yeah, well, it's always toughest on the wives because they have very little control. They can't throw any bowling balls down there. Nice and straight, good conversion. Still only trails by a couple of pins.
2 pins the difference. We're in the 5th frame. Semi-final match here, the championship round finals of the Northwest Classic here in Richland, Washington at Fiesta Bowl. This is Mike Durbin along with Marshall Holman. In our opening match, Pete Weber defeated Walter Ray Williams Jr., but then Tim Criss defeated defeated Pete Weber. Oh, figured it out on that lane.
Got that ball in the pocket. You know, he struck 7 times against Pete Weber, and that's the first strike he's had against Norm Duke.
Well, he's liable to throw 7 in a row now.
Now let's see if Norm is staying with that same ball. No, he is not. He has switched balls. He's going for better carry. I think this ball goes straighter. Well, it went too straight, and he was looking for better carry. He got a very good break. Now you can see him watching, trying to figure out what this ball is doing. Watch how straight this ball goes. That's a combination of his release, and this is a less reactive ball. Carries a very, very fortunate 2-pin off the wall. Says, oh, I'll take that.
Is he going to stay with that ball on lane 31?
No, he's switched back to the ball that he was having trouble knocking all 10 pins down with, but he was getting it to the pocket.
All right. Almost crosses over, leaves the